Welcome back everybody. This is going to be day 2. So we're back in Barbados and we're going snorkeling with turtles. So we started the day heading down to the atrium into Vistas and went for coffee, and I think I had a hot chocolate, and then went off for breakfast at the buffet. We then exited the ship and went on a bus to get on a catamaran. It was only a 5-minute trip on the bus, but about a half hour or so trip out on the catamaran to where we were going to go snorkeling first of all. We ended up doing 3 stops with a little bit of travel between them. First though, we went along the coast to a spot near the boatyard, which is a payable bit of private or bit of beach that's kind of privated. We strapped on some snorkels and jumped in the water. Now the first stop was really cool. We ended up near this shipwreck which had been actually sunk specifically for diving, snorkeling and stuff like that. As I say, it's near a place called the Boatyard, which they do tours out there as well. They get you in a little boat and send you out. A lot of cruise lines do also offer different excursions out to snorkel with turtles, which go to this place as well. A lot of people were snorkeling. I float like a turd in the bath, so I wasn't able to kind of dive down under the water, much like this person going actually into the shipwreck with a camera, which would have been cool to see. But we just bobbed along on the top of the water, checking out all the wildlife. A lot of different type of fish. There was obviously some stuff living in there as well, but the main reason was going to see the turtles. And there's one just off the front. I ended up having problems with my mask, so I had to hold my nose. But as I was heading back to the boat, there was this little fella coming across the top of the shipwreck, which really cool to see. We've been to the Turtle Hospital in the Florida Keys as well, so we do like a turtle. And for what was about 50 or 60 quid each, that was great. But at a certain point in time, you just end up with a massive amount of people. I think at one point there was about 5 catamarans there, and people coming out from the beach as well. So thankfully they kind of called time on it, and we ended up heading back to the boat to move on to the next spot. Wasn't particularly far, but we ended up jumping in off the back to save messing around in a queue at the front. This one a little bit deeper, no kind of shipwreck or anything like that, and a lot of food in the water. The staff were feeding the tarpons, so luckily they stayed quite low, because I've had one experience with tarpons and they scared the crap out of me. So they stayed down near the seabed, and as I say, floating like a turd in the bath. I can't get down that far, but they were just waiting for the food to drop down. And eventually we spotted this turtle kind of sat on the seabed. He was kind of moving sand around, but then I chased him for a good kind of 5 minutes or so. We ended up actually getting called back, because at a certain point he ended up reaching the anchor of another boat, which, because of the motion in the ocean, was moving towards us. So we got called back and ended up back on the boat. And that was the end of our snorkeling excursion, essentially. So they served all the rum punches, but they did scoot off to another beach, the other side of the marina from where we were, and let us jump in and have a bit of a swim. Everyone had had a few punches by then, so may not have been the best idea. But as you see, Vic jumped in. Guy reckons it was about 15 feet to the water. Not sure it was quite that high, maybe 15 feet to the seabed from the water, but hey. So I swiftly followed her. and we just swum around for a bit. It was really, really nice. One thing we did do though is between the snorkeling and this stop is I decided it would be a good idea to take my swimming shirt off. As you see here, I was wearing a grey top to protect myself from the sun. The Caribbean is very, very sunny, if anyone hasn't told you this before. So yeah, it wasn't a great idea, and I managed to get sunburnt, but the trip itself was fantastic. They put us back on a bus to get back to the ship.
How many rum punches has Vicky had? 10 by the sounds of it.
As I say, I'd taken my shirt off, and that wasn't a great idea because this happened. Sunburn is horrendous, so don't get sunburn if you go out there. I think someone said that they'd seen factor 80 sun cream, so make sure you get some of that if you're going out to the Caribbean. We got straight back onto the ship, had some lunch at the buffet, and then we went out for a walk. We were going to head back towards the beaches where we'd seen earlier. However, we did kind of go along the seawall. There was also a little inlet channel, inlet or outlet, can't tell the difference, that was absolutely covered with crabs. Some of them were jumping off towards those rocks. Really, really cool. And to be honest, jet lag, swimming, sun, rum punch, a happy combination of everything just meant that we were absolutely knackered. So we kind of had a bit of a sit for a moment, watched the world go by, and then headed back to the ship. Once we got back to the ship, the sun was looking at setting, so we kind of wandered around the back of the ship for a bit, watched the sunset. Really, really pretty over the sea. There were a few little clouds to highlight the colour and everything. We then went in to get dinner. We went to the Meridian restaurant at the back of the ship, one of the main dining rooms. Food was great. We never had a bad meal in there, really. Most of the time Vic was having steak. So one thing we did notice, all of the salt and pepper grinders across the ship, no matter what restaurant we were in, were all Peugeot. So I'm not sure where they branched out from cars to making salt and pepper grinders, but hey, these things happen. So that was day 2. The excursion was fantastic. We spent probably, like I say, £50–60 each on that. Really would recommend it. All the excursions we did were booked direct through P&O. I think you can get them elsewhere. The Tiami Cruises that we went with actually do book separately as well. But yeah, really, really interesting experience, let's put it that way. But the next video is going to be us in St Lucia. We do go on another catamaran. It's a slightly bigger one this time, and we cruise to the Pitons, which are quite large kind of mountains out at St Lucia. So yeah, subscribe and you'll see all of that when it comes out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.